With us today, we got Joe, Trigger Joe Britson.
All right, let's go.
To try to get a matchup with Ngannou. Oh, goes the win! Francis Ngannou!
Well, this is just a fist. When I start throwing it around, I can leave one hell of a mess. Let's dance.
Multiple occasions. Wow, it looks like they're going to swing to the very end.
And he wasn't kidding.
Wow!
It's very rare.
What a finish! Another one.
It really poses the question, what do you want to do? Do you want to take a chance and risk getting knocked out?
Oh my God!
Oh my God.
Trying to take care of business, trying to get to It's a knockout! Oh my It's a knockout!
And it's closing in. Trying to finish it. And it's over.
Because I'm going to take this foot and I'm going to whop you on that side of your face. There's not a goddamn thing you can do about it.
Buck is brought to you by Modelo.
I killed it!
Punch me right in the face, man.
And we have a new nickname. Okay, we have William Send It 7 Pearson. All right, other than that, we used to call him Willie Pete. We used to call him the Mad Russian.
Now you're gonna get it, Bobby.
I think you've had enough. No? Now you've had enough. Bitch.
Wow! How good is this?
Finish him!
Another one.
Everybody gets triggered. It's just if you become a pansy. That's in the Book of Earl.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
You called down the thunder, well now you got it.
Gotta be very careful.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Sports Betting Show with your hosts, Trigger Joe, Send It 7 Pearson, and the Big Earl. UFC, NFL, if it's on, we're betting on it.
What's up, Trash Talkers, Gruntworks Nation? We are live
for UFC 287 and the picks. All right, like I'm not gonna get too mad because I've been drinking all day and I don't give a shit, right? But I don't think we won last week, and I don't think we won the last week before that. So okay, all right. So you get it? All right, guys, watching for the first time, welcome to the show. Right.
However, we did have a good night the last time these two in the main event fought.
Right, we did. Shut the fuck up,
yes.
God. All right, so like, anyways. So, all right, anyways, if you've never watched our show before, all right, VTT's Sports Pick'em and the UFC with our experts, VTT's Trigger Joe and the champ, this VTT Send It 7, Bill Pearson. All right, so like these guys are really good. They're really good at picking fights, and if you don't bet on them, you suck. You're suspect. All right, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't know. I don't understand why you wouldn't bet on them. I mean, I try, and I usually win. The last couple weeks, not so good, but we gonna turn around. All right, we're gonna turn around. All right, hey, how are you guys doing? What's going on? What's going on since the last break? No, hey, Bill's got the volume on.
I just got back from Austin. Fun little town, but I am ready to get back into this job.
We've been on a 2-week drought, and I'm ready for some fights.
That's all you got, Joe? You're ready for some fights?
Hey! We did have our birthdays. You and I both, and Gold Star Teen Adventures got over $1,000 from ours combined. So
right.
I will give a shout out and props to our community for that one. So that did happen. Those
of you who watch this show, we always end the segment with this show as well with a shout out to Gold Star Teen Adventures. Joe and I always make our birthday fundraisers for them. So if you've seen it on BT's Big Earl or BT's Trigger Joe, like that's like you can't beat that type of. I mean, you might as well do it now, Bill, if you don't mind. Might as well do it now. Like that's what we donate our birthday fundraiser to, because as a warrior, Joe's a warrior, Bill's a warrior. Like, we never really thought about the kids that were left behind, right? We never thought about that until somebody decided to. And that's what Gold Star Teen Adventures is. So, Bill, before we start, just do that.
Hey, we'll do it right off the bat. We asked everybody to go to goldstarteenadventures.org. It was started a while ago. Again, every Memorial Day, we always see Till Valhalla, RIP, which is awesome, but everyone always forgets about the families left behind. What this organization does, it gets these kids together every year. They take them on scuba trips. They get them dive certified, hunting trips, every possible trip you can think of and certification. They follow them from 14 all the way up through college. They just get all these kids together. Remember that everyone has remembered them. No one's forgot about them. And it's good for, Gold Star kids to, hang out with other Gold Star kids. And they've even expanded it a little bit to first responders as well. So please, they've actually won awards for most amount of money going to the kids and not to overhead BS costs. So please go to goldstarteenadventures.org.
Beautiful. Now, before we like that, that's obviously unbelievable. I have been drinking 10th Mountain bourbon and cordial for a long time today. A long time. All right. And so if you go to 10thmountainwhiskey.com, they're a huge supporter of us. They're a huge supporter of our mission, which is to curb the veteran suicide rate to the national average. And then we'll readjust our goal after that. They are a part of it. And they have been supplying me with enough booze to do whatever I want to do. So it's absolutely phenomenal. And thanks, Ryan, at 10th Mountain Whiskey for being a partner. All right. UFC 287. Now, those of you watching for the first time, if you don't have money, if you can't gamble, don't gamble. However, if you have a little extra scratch and you want to place some bets, don't do what I'm about to say, because I don't know shit. All right. But these two guys, they got it going on. And I'm thinking after 3 or 4 years, I'm going to start to know some shit. So it's going to be hard for me to make stuff up. But we're going to get after it. So UFC 287, the fight starts off with a bantamweight fight. And I wrote this on a bar napkin. That's where the big girls' picks are, okay? So I got a bantamweight fight. We got Rosas Jr., 7-0, versus Rodriguez, 8-1. Now, if you paid attention in the show, the big girl doesn't like these kind of fights. All right? This is the size of the girls I was trying to date. You know what I mean? So I'm going to call this fight ending in a draw. For the first time ever, you're going to have a tickle fight where both of these little fucking pansies tap at the same time. All right? They tap at the same time because they can't handle it. All right? You tickle these little kids too much, they can't handle it. So, Bill, the champ, you start. Tickle fight, yes or no?
No.
That's I was close.
Weirdly, I've never seen two people tap at the same time, but I have seen, Joe might remember who it was. I can't remember who it was, where one guy slammed a guy, and when he slammed him, he hit his own forehead, and they both got knocked out at the same time. I've seen that happen.
Quentin Rampage Jackson and Ricardo Arona collided heads after Arona was knocked out, and it split Rampage. But Kevin Holland and Kyle Dawkins collided and knocked each in both. Yeah, so that it has, the double knockout has happened.
I've never seen the double tap out. However, this one's also one of my locks, so you can go ahead and lock it in, and it's Rosas by sub. I think Rodriguez might make it to the second round, but I can tell you, Rosas, ugly SOB. He's super young, but he is an up-and-coming phenom. I think he's the youngest fighter on the roster still.
He is.
But he is just a ground phenom. He is definitely going to be a future champion for sure. And the good thing about what I like about it is they're not rushing him into higher fighters too quick. Because of his age, you're still growing, you're still gaining your strength. I like that they're giving him warm-up fights, slowly working him up. But I got Rose's.
No big deal.
Little Flintstone vitamins. I'm a big kid now. But I got Roses by sub. I'll go early second round.
All right, there you have the champ. And so those of you who haven't watched in a while, don't know what's going on, this really irritates Trigger Joe, is that Bill's a champ because he's 100% better picker than Joe. And I mean, the record shows it. I mean, as much, and Joe knows this, as much as I'd love to say that Joe's a champ, it's not. All right, so maybe we can turn it around here. Joe, what do you say you?
Hey, maybe we can turn it around because the last 2 points that I got, both fighters are on this card.
Here we go.
Ponzinibbio and Pereira. So
that's true.
So maybe we can turn it around. But yeah, Rosas Jr. is 18 years old. The kid is like the next coming of Royce Gracie on the mat. His chokes are unbelievable. And this Rodriguez is no slouch. I mean, the dude's 8-1, and he's an up and coming prospect that people think could be a real contender one day. So this is actually a much more competitive fight than people think it will be. But I think that what I've seen of Rosas, he knows that too. He'll take it that much, that serious. And I think he's going to get out of there in the first. I think they get on the ground, he latches something up, and while they're still dry and not sweating, he finds the finish. And I got Rosas by first round submission.
Very nice.
I could be wrong though. Christian Rodriguez is no slouch. So at minus 270, bet at your own risk. But if you're betting Rosas, you got to bet him by sub because that's how he wins the fight.
Maybe I'm drunk, but Freeman Sunday says, "When's this fight?" I said tomorrow. And he goes, "I thought the fight was on the 8th." I want to know what I want to know.
And that's also tomorrow.
Hey, Freeman, I want to know what you're on. All right,
you're both correct.
I want some of that.
It is tomorrow and the 8th. You're both correct.
Whatever Freeman's on, I want it. Like, let's go. Like, let's fucking send it. All right. Tomorrow is infinity.
Okay. Freeman, are we on the same board? All right, comment again, brother. Love that you're watching. Comment again. It's great. All right. The next fight is a welterweight fight, and we got Howland, who's had 23-9 versus that guy. All right, Panzanibio. All right, he's coming in at 30-6. All right, obviously a guy with this amount of fights. Now, this is the big girl talking again. Again, don't listen to a fucking word I have to say. But I'm going Panzanibio. All right, I'm going with him by ear pull throat strike. Okay, hasn't been seen in years. But like honestly, like I imagine like just the slightest of pull by the ear, and then right, Joe, what do you see?
Yeah, I actually did a pretty good look on this fight because I think Bill's gonna disagree with me on this one. And Ponzinibbio, maybe I make history here on the show because Ponzinibbio got me a point in the last time he fought, and now I'm picking against him. And I'll tell you why I'm picking against him. I understand the want to pick Ponzinibbio as a live dog. He's plus 210. It's good money. He's a solid fighter, but he's 36. And Alex Morono took that last fight on 10 days notice, and he came in there and boxed Ponzinibbio's ears off for 2 rounds, and then Ponzinibbio knocks him out in the 3rd and gets out of there with a victory. But he was losing that fight. And that's Morono on 10 days notice. Kevin Holland is with 3-2 in his last 5, but he lost 2 before that also. All of his losses are quality. The problem with Kevin Holland is you don't know which version of him is going to show up. He's got a horrible fight IQ, and he makes stupid decisions. If he doesn't let Wonder Boy up, he doesn't get knocked out in his last fight. And then he's only lost to Chimaev. I think he knows how serious this is for him. He's the luster has worn off with him, and people are starting to get tired of watching him fight. And he comes out and pulls some low IQ move, and he's 30 years old. Ponzinibbio's 36. He's got 8 inches of reach. If he doesn't come out there and knock Ponzinibbio's head off like Morono should have in the 2nd round, I think he's done being on the main card, and he should be. So I'm going to go ahead and one last time go with his talent, think he takes it seriously, shows up and fights how he's supposed to, and wins by 2nd round TKO. So I got Kevin Holland.
So I
don't know that I'll be betting this fight for money. Put it that way.
I heard Holland there, but there was nothing to do with the ear pinch throat strike. Okay, so
with Holland, he could be like talking to
not quite sure
Rogan while he's throwing
about,
punches
Joe.
and do something like that. So it's you never know what you're gonna get with that guy.
Just saying. All right, the champ, Bill. What say you? Oh, that bothers Joe so much when I say that. I know it. I love it.
For all you old school boxing fans who watched boxing in the 80s and 90s, I call Holland the James Toney of the UFC. It's a guy who fights to the talent of the person he's fighting, and you never know which one's showing up. Joe hit the nail on the head. I mean, Holland can come in and look like a superstar, and there's other times he comes in and you want to slap the shit out of him because he's fighting like a fucking idiot.
I.e. Derek Brunson.
Yeah, the Brunson fight.
Fight.
He could have just got up and instead was just like talking shit while he was on his back the whole time and lost the fight.
Losing. Talking shit.
And Ponzinibbio is the same way. Like sometimes he can come in and look like the next contender, and other times he comes in and Morono teases his ass up. Here's what I'm saying. I'm going to agree with Joe. I think Holland's skill will be the better this fight, and I think a TKO 2nd round is solid pick. I'm also going to say this because I care about our viewers and why they watch our show. Do not bet on this fight. You do not know which fighter is showing up, and either one of them can beat the other one in a really stupid decision that put you to sleep, or either one of them can do something stupid, like Joe said, talk to one of the announcers on the side and get wrecked with a right. Do not bet on this fight.
The best advice I could give on this fight is take Ponzinibbio as your DraftKings sleeper if you don't have any money left in for your lineup. Because he could pull it off. You never know.
I was actually going to say that later. If I'm going to do anything with Ponzinibbio, put him as a weird DraftKings sleeper, don't put money on this fight, and definitely don't put it in a parlay, because who the hell knows what's going to happen in this fight. So yeah, I'll agree with Joe Holland, TKO second round, but I am emphatically telling everybody, do not put any money on this fight.
There you go. And because of the 10th Mountain Whiskey and Bourbon Company, I totally forgot to explain how to bet. All right. So stick around till the end, viewers, because these two experts are going to give you their parlays, their locks, and their DraftKings sleeper. Okay. Now, those of you that don't play DraftKings, you get like a certain amount of like salary cap to pick people. They're going to give you the guy that is the best value for points. All right. And then they're also going to give you their locks. And the way the Big Earl bets is I put a lot of money on their locks. Sometimes it doesn't win money. Sometimes it does. I know a couple weeks ago I lost a shit ton of money. No big deal. All right. But but for the most time, it wins. And the parlays, they usually lose. Okay. Sometimes that's why Vegas has big buildings. So that's what you have with the disclaimer. Forgot to say that. Go ahead, Joe. What do you got to say?
Oh, nothing. I'm just ready for this next one. I'm still breaking it down in my head. I'm getting into the zone.
All right. Well, this is my favorite fight to pick since I was researching the card. Okay, this is a bantamweight fight. All right, another one of the tickle farters. All right, and you got Font at 19-6 versus Giannis at 16-3. All right, I took a lot of time. All right, appreciate my research here. All right, Font's gonna win by a Times Roman numeral clinch in the second round. Joe, what say you?
I see what you did there. Yeah. I see what you did there.
You see what I did there?
That's a little Eminem wordplay there. I like it.
Because he's a font?
I like that.
So yeah, it's mine. I'll take it, Joe.
Oh, sorry.
Here's the thing.
I thought it was Bill. Yeah, it's Bill. It's Bill. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely not a tickle fight. I think this is potentially the fight of the night. To be honest with you, I mean, these two are little, like Nick said, but they are animals. Giannis is on a 9-fight win streak with 7 finishes, and Font is on a 2-fight loser streak. But it was who was it? Marlon Vera and who was the other one? Jose Aldo. So not bad losses, and both of those were a 5-round and 3-round decision. So you got a guy who finishes everybody versus a guy who's really hard to finish. And they're both just fight. They're brawlers. One's from Boston, one's from Texas.
Can I stop you?
Yeah, sure.
Tanner Port is watching.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I'm just saying, Tanner.
Because I knew if I said Derek Brunson, Tanner would be like, "Hey, I know him."
Tanner,
jump on.
Tanner,
I knew it.
Tanner, man the fuck up. Make a comment, homie. Make a comment, homie. All right.
So anyway, I like
Derek
Giannis
Brunson
in this
into
one.
a mirror 3 times. He'll show up.
I like Giannis in a decision on this one. I think the over is actually a pretty safe bet on this one because Font is a tough son of a bitch. And
even in Times Roman numeral?
Yeah. Even Joe and I talked about this earlier before the show. Is Font's one of those dudes who might pull off one of those split decisions on this one. So the safer bet, honestly, is the over on this one. But if I'm betting a fighter, I'm taking Giannis by decision. I just don't see him finishing Font. Font's just a tough dude. And he's been there with the top guys. I mean, Vera and Jose Aldo are top-end strikers. And he went toe-to-toe with them for 3 and 5 rounds. So I got Giannis by decision. But another safe bet on this one that could actually be a lock, too, is this fight on the over.
Yeah. Ooh, very nice. Yeah. Very nice. All right. Joe, what say you?
I mean, verbatim. That's exactly what I was going to say. Precisely. Plus 2.5 is my favorite pick on the fight. And Giannis, be careful to the bettors out there. Be careful thinking he's going to blow through Font like he has everybody else. All right. Font just went 5 rounds with Chito Vera looked like the Elephant Man when it was over with, and Vera couldn't finish him. Vera hit him with that up kick. He hit him with the kitchen sink, dropped him 3 times, and Font still landed 271 significant strikes while taking that beating. He is a dog. And if that fight didn't happen, I might say that he pulls this off. But fights like that past 35 change you. He took a lot of damage. He got beat badly, but not
and
finished.
He went 5 rounds with Cody Garbrandt too. That was a battle.
Exactly. And the thing that Adrian Yanez, he's looked like the Terminator, but who's he been doing it with? You know, Rob Font's fought everybody. Yeah. So watch out how you pick this fight one way or the other. I'm going to go with the talent, the fact that Font's last fight wasn't that long ago and he took a vicious beating, and say Yanez pulls away with it in the second and third and wins a unanimous or a split decision. But the play here for me is plus 2.5. You got 2 135ers and one guy that is just tougher than a $2 steak. I think this thing's most definitely going to the cards.
Mm-hmm. All right, there you have it, Joe. And again, just try to remember, guys, when you're picking these fights, these guys are the experts. I am not. All right. What they're trying to tell you is how they're going to gamble on it. All right. And that's what has been the greatest learning curve for me listening to these guys, is that, you know, you might like the fighter, but are they going to win? But they're probably going to fight till the second round, second and a half, right? So just keep that in mind as you're betting, as a sports bettor, to think about where you're going to put your money. So, all right, sponsored by 10th Mountain Whiskey, we're going into the what is it called? Shit.
Co-main.
The co-main. Shut up, God. I've been drinking. All right.
What?
The co-main is
a kids, daddy.
Well,
drink.
The problem is, you see what happened was, all right, is that this co-main is a welterweight fight. God damn it, these are small people again. All right, and I got
Gilbert Burns has never been called small.
All right, and this is how I figured this out. All right, so Gilbert Burns 21-5, Masvidal 35-16. Now, if you look at this picture that's up there, right, just take a look at it. Take a look at it. All right, like his traps are bigger than like my head. So I'm going to call Gilbert Burns by a reverse trap choke. Okay, it's never been done before, but he's going to choke him out with his traps.
I like it.
I mean, I don't see how that goes any other way. All right, is it Joe's turn or Bill's turn? I've already forgot.
It's mine.
I think it's Joe's, yeah.
And hey, even
I knew it was yours, Joe. I was joking.
I've got Gilbert Burns winning by submission with a choke. So Nick, like, you know, once again you struck the bullseye with a blindfold on. But no, speaking of liking both fighters, loved watching Jorge Masvidal's whole career. He doesn't have boring fights, but he's outmatched here. Gilbert Burns is on a mission from God at 36 years old. This is his last run. This is his last run. He knows it, and he's looked unstoppable ever since Chimaev. And, you know, Chimaev's looked unstoppable. Gilbert about punched his head backwards and dropped him. Gilbert Burns has got heart. He's got the talent to stand in the pocket with Masvidal, and he's got the ground game to submit Masvidal. I don't think he finishes him. I think he catches him somewhere in the second round and pounces on a choke and wins by submission. I think that Masvidal's time has passed when it comes to fighting top contenders, and Gilbert Burns knows this is his last run. I've got him as one of my locks. I've got him by second round submission.
Very nice. Very nice. The champ. Wait, before we go to the champ, Tanner says way too much Bud Light. All right, so I know what Tanner's saying right there, but guess what, Tanner? I never drank Bud Light. Okay?
I see what you're trying to do, Tanner.
Yeah, we see what you're trying to do, but I'm never going to brag about cutting off Bud Light because I cut Bud Light off a long time ago. All right? Now, if Bud Light was free, Tanner, I'm drinking it. Okay, but if you charge me for Bud Light, you ain't getting it.
I've never been one to refuse a free beer. Cold day in hell, son.
Hell no. All right, so the champ, let's say you.
Joe's almost got me sold on this submission. I was actually bottom line up front. I got Gilbert Burns. I'm with Joe on Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns is just
y'all a bunch of pansies.
He's out. I think he's going to outclass Masvidal. I think Masvidal has done a great job at selling himself with his game bred bullshit. But I think he's won some of his fights on intimidation. As there's actually a good Joe Rogan interview when he was talking about the Burns Shemaya fight, where they're pretty sure you could offer Gilbert Burns a fight with the devil, he'd take it for $10. Like, the dude is just born to fight in alleyways. He's just a tough SOB. I got Gilbert Burns in this one. I was picking decision. I think Joe might be right. I think he might catch Masvidal, jump on his back, and choke his ass out. And you never know. Masvidal might have been changed by that Usman knockout too. I mean, that was vicious. And like I said, I think, and Gilbert Burns has been saying the same thing. Gilbert Burns has been telling all the fans, hey, everyone's running from Shemaya, but I want to run it back with him. He almost beat Hamza on that fight. I would love to see them run it back. I think if he wins this fight, they might offer that as a super fight because everyone will pay to watch that fight again. But I got Gilbert Burns in this one. I was going with decision. Gilbert Burns is definitely one of my locks. He's a heavy favorite. But I'm actually changing to Joe's pick. I think Gilbert Burns might pull this off with a choke by stunning him with a strike. And I think he's just going to out-muscle Masvidal as well. I'm actually with Joe on this. I think he catches Masvidal, wobbles him a little bit, and then just muscles him to the ground and chokes him out. But absolutely, Gilbert Burns is also one of my locks.
Nice. All right, we go to the main event. And I'm going to throw a wrinkle in this here. All right, so I'm going to ask the two experts, what would the big girl pick here? Okay, we're going to go. I know this is, trust me, they have not been notified about this. You have to guess that what play would I play on the names of these fighters to say to win? All right, so I'm going to go Alex Pereira 7-1 versus Israel Adesanya. Real quickly, who does the Big Earl pick based off of their name?
Big Earl picks Adesanya by a weird naked ankle bender tickle pinch.
I'm saying he catches a picture of Pereira in that headdress and he takes him by counting coup death touch.
Oof.
You guys are better than me at making up shit. All right, I'm gonna go Alex for 300, please.
Rest in peace.
Exactly. So here's what's gonna happen, fight fans. These guys are gonna scream Israel Asade's name, but Alex has won over and over and over again. And I'm going to just say it, Alex, by 300. Bill, the champ, what say you? You get that? They get the Jeopardy reference? You get it?
I do. I like it. This reminds me
didn't see it coming.
Of early 2000s UFC. Adesanya can be 98% of this roster. Pereira just has his number. And the reason why I say it reminds me of early 2000s is Chuck Liddell could beat everybody. He could wreck Tito Ortiz every time. Rampage just had Chuck's number. Tito could beat Rampage. You remember those days? Listen, Alex just has his number. I think because of that, he lives in Adesanya's head. And I'm predicting it right now. I think Pereira wins this fight by TKO again. And then they're setting up a fight with Chimaev because these two absolutely despise each other. They've already been talking shit to each other nonstop. My only worry is that Chimaev tries to fight him at a weigh-in or fight him backstage because that's just the psychopath he is. I got Pereira by TKO on this one. I think it'll be deep into the fight again. I think it'll be late third, early fourth round. I think what Pereira learned in the first fight was that he needs to get much better with his ground game. And now that Glover has got time to concentrate on helping him train for that, his ground game is going to be far better because Glover is one of the best ground guys in the biz. They're great friends, great training partners. I got Alex Pereira by late third, early fourth TKO. And then I think they're setting it up for the winner of Shemaiah Whitaker.
Very nice. Very nice. So Tanner's saying he's going to go watch the rest of this show at Jack's Tap. So those of you who have never traveled Bright Boulevard, careful when you go into Jack's Tap. All right. So you got to be a certain percent. All right. But Tanner's above that, just like I am. And last time I was in Fayetteville with Tanner, we rocked Jack's Tap like nobody's business. All right, Joe, what say you on the main event?
Yeah, the great Chael P. Sonnen had a good point this week that not a lot of people are talking about, and that is, their last fight wasn't that long ago, and there's not going to be a whole lot of improvement from the last time to this time in any one area. But the one that's most important that I think that Pereira is going to understand working with Glover is, dude, you're much bigger than this kid. All you need to do is have good technique, and he's not going to be able to get you to the ground. You took some of his best shots. You didn't get floored. I mean, even though he was in trouble there at the end of the first. But he made mistakes, and I'm sure that he's going to be able to capitalize off of seeing the tape. But they don't play it because it was all in Portuguese, but in his corner, in between the fourth and the fifth, the guy literally said the same thing Leon's corner said to him. You're blowing it. Like, you need a knockout. You need to go finish this not right now, or this guy's gonna beat you. And Pereira got up from the stool in the fourth and was rushing out to the ring, like where most guys are hanging their head, sucking wind. He was rushing out there, okay, boss, I'll go finish it right now. And they had to grab him, hey, he hasn't started the round yet.
And
but
when
he
you
got off the
a guy
stool ready to
twice,
finish him, and he went out there and finished him. But it was they told Pereira, hey, it's time. Fight's over. He was, I think he was coasting. I don't think he realized that Izzy was stealing rounds on him because, man, when they told him in the corner, it was like a light bulb turned on over his head, and he said, okay, that's all he said. And he got up and walked out there and finished him. And he finished him pretty quickly in the fifth round also. It wasn't last minute like Leon Edwards. But I think that happens in the third round here. I think he's got Izzy's number. Izzy drove that hard leg kick, and it hurt his leg, and that's what started the stumbling and the bumbling that had Pereira having him at the edge of the cage. Izzy couldn't stand up because he kicked Pereira. Pereira checked it, and Izzy hurt his leg. So I think Izzy knows I can't low kick him. I can't leave my chin open. If I put any combinations together and I get caught, he could sleep me. He's done it twice. How does he beat this guy? I think Izzy's got the talent to beat anybody on his best night, but he's going to have to fight perfect. And I just don't think that he's going to be able to do that against Pereira.
And the problem is, and Joe, too, the other problem is, too, in the fight world, when you've been finished twice and you've finished a guy twice, mentally, for both those fighters, it's a different world.
That's why I have so much respect for Dustin Poirier because of what he did to McGregor. A lot of guys don't have the stones to come back and do that. And whatever Adesanya says, the fear is right there and evident on pay-per-view when you're in there with that guy.
All right, so
you can see it.
I guess we got a comment from a Tanner Port. I don't know if we know who Tanner Port is. I don't know if we've ever covered who that guy is. But he
sounds like a real jag-off running.
He says, for the record. Okay, for the record, he says, I'm probably wrong. I think Israel gets his redemption on this one.
Possible.
Which is very possible.
Did it
It's
happen?
possible. And if he wins, I've always been a fan. Good on you. And I'm happy for him. But I honestly think it's almost a little bit sad, man. He comes over to the UFC and gets away from Pereira and K1. He follows him over here and knocks him out and takes his belt. It's pretty rough.
And there's actually a good video out there where Pereira had no interest in coming to MMA, but Adesanya did an interview where they asked him about his loss in kickboxing. He says, well, I'm a champion. That guy's probably sitting out on a bar stool talking about that one time he beat me, going home to his nothing job and his nothing life. And that made Pereira go, oh, yeah, motherfucker, and joined the UFC. And 6 fights later, fucking knocks out Adesanya. So,
for your information, no, I did not. For your information, no, I'm not at a bar stool. I'm standing over your corpse. I'm telling you, if there's one guy in this equation that can put the other guy to sleep, and Izzy can say whatever he wants. If that fight doesn't get broke up, he's eating a knee or a kick in the next 10 seconds. And he's saying, I'm looking at his feet. You don't think I could see it? It's like, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people saw the knockout punch right as it was hitting them. I'm sure they got a good look at it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you're there to block it. And he was staggering.
Let's stay with Hot Joe. All right, Trigger Joe, this is the best part of the show. See what I got right here? It's called a pen. All right, for those of you in the poorer world, you need a pencil, or you prick your hand with a needle, and you can write it down with blood. I don't know, but here we go. Write this shit down.
All right,
Joe,
so for
give us your locks, your parlays, and your DraftKings sleeper. You jumped the gun on me, and I'm okay with it. I still love you.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're past it. I've grown from it. I'll get better. My DraftKings sleeper is Alex Pereira. I mean, prove to me how this guy loses, and I'll feel differently. But he's plus money right now. He's going to be my DraftKings sleeper. Also, I feel like really good values on that would be Rob Font, Michelle Watterson. Has a very good chance at winning her fight, and she's an underdog. So those are some plus money bets or cheaper people on DraftKings that you can use. My locks are Gilbert Burns, Carl Williams against Chase Sherman. He's going to rustle that dude's ears off, and Jaqueline Amorin in the first fight. Her name's Jacqueline Amorin. She's 6-0 with 6 first-round finishes, and she fights 7-5 Sam Hughes. This girl's a really good up-and-coming prospect, so definitely lock her in, but she is the first fight of the night in the early prelims. So my parlay goes like this, and I'm going to go from the first fight up. Jacqueline Amorin by decision. Ignacio Bojomandes in the next fight is going in my parlay. Bill's got the other guy.
No, so far we're almost exact.
Ooh, let's do a point on that one.
I got Lupita Godinez. Yeah. I got Lupita Godinez, and then I got Joe Pyfer by knockout over Gerald Mearshart. I think he's going to destroy him. Carl the Truth Williams over Chase Sherman. Then I got Rosas on the first fight of the main card, Rosas by sub. Then I got Yanez and Font to go over 2.5, and Gilbert Burns by sub. And then I'm going to enjoy the main event and not bet unless I'm up. But so that's it.
All right, now do that again because that was really confusing, even though I tried to write it down. All right, so I got your locks as Burns and some kind of Williams person and some kind of Armanius person.
Yep. You want me to spell her name for you?
Yeah.
Amorim. Jacqueline Amorim. She fights Sam Hughes. Take her in that first fight.
So that's your locks. You got Burns, Williams, and then Amorim.
Yep.
All right. And then you got this Ben Benitez person.
Yeah. Bojomandes.
Same thing.
Yeah. It's the third fight of the night. He's fighting Trey Ogden. I like him to win his fight by sub. All right. Then Carl Williams and Chase Sherman. I got Carl Williams winning by decision. The next fight up is Joe Pyfer against Gerald Mearshart. I got Joe Pyfer by TKO. Then the first fight on the main card, I got Raul Rosas Jr. by sub. Rob Font and Yanez to go over 2.5, and then Gilbert Burns by sub. And that is it.
Perfect. All right. The champ. What say you?
Joe and I are almost dead on. Minus, I got like a 1 or 2 fight difference. But we agree. I agree with all your fights. Not a bad parlay at all. I only switched it up just a tad. My DraftKings sleeper actually won. Para is a great DraftKings sleeper to bet. I also like Curtis as a DraftKings sleeper against Kelvin.
Good one. Good one.
Curtis is on a tear right now, and he can come in and sleep. And Gastel's on the downslope. Let's face it. Curtis is a good DraftKings sleeper. My locks: Williams, like Joe said. Amorim also first fight tonight. I like her a lot, and I actually like the Karate Hottie versus Pinero to take the over on that one. Pinero's got some finish, but Karate Hottie is just hard to finish.
Who's the Karate Hottie?
Michelle Watterson is the
Watterson.
Karate Hottie. Michelle Watterson Gomez, now that she's been married, but
that's true.
They call her the Karate
She's
Hottie.
hard to finish, and she grinds out decisions every time.
She's a good underdog.
Take the Michelle
play
Watterson fight. The over on that one is a lock for me. But I'm gonna also go from bottom to top on a parlay. Amorim.
That was tough for me. That one was close.
I'm trying.
You stay strong. Did it again. That one was on purpose.
That one was close.
Okay. So
from bottom to top, said it.
Amorim. Again, just like Joe Bahamas, or however the hell you want to say his name.
Wait, no, we didn't know to say their names because I'm trying to write them down.
The one that begins with a B. It's the third fight. Bahamas.
Yeah.
Spell Bahamas with Ondes at the end. Bohamondes.
Then I like Lupe Godinez.
Another one.
Again with Joe, Carl Williams. Like I said, take Michelle Watterson over. Rosas. Yanez. Take the over on that one. And Burns again. And then I also am going to enjoy the main event. Depending how I'm doing on the rest of these bets, I will put money on Pereira.
All right. Hey, so Bill, I'm going to Venmo you $40 and you do whatever you just said because I don't want to write any more down.
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Let's get on that one.
It'd be beautiful if it was a piece of paper that had like my list and then the beginning of your list, and then Venmo Bill $40 written down. That's all that's written down on the paper. Fuck it, Venmo and the money.
Fuck it, Venmo and the money.
I give up. I quit on that Bohamonde shit. It's over. I'm tapping out.
So, hey, fight fans, again, remember, if you cannot gamble, do not gamble. Do not put the money down to gamble. Put that money to someplace else. And if it's cigarettes, dip, beer, whatever, stop it. All right? Again, what we've started as is veteran trash talk, what we've grown to. There's no show on Saturday. All right? We don't do shows on the holiday weekends, and we value Easter Sunday as a holiday, so no show. But our whole premise is to promote veteran-owned businesses and causes and everything else. And we already covered the Gold Star Teen Adventures, but you guys got no idea, unless you've been a seasoned watcher of our shows, of who comes on our show and explains what they do. All right? Like, they come on our show and tell you how they help veterans. So if anything, if you don't want to donate to a veteran cause, we bring the CEOs on our show. So you can validate that. But I'm going to give Gold Star Teen Adventures another plug, obviously. So, Bill, one more time.
Okay, I'm going to plug 2 organizations. Since I hit Gold Star Teen Adventures in the beginning, I'll hit them again real quick. Now I'll talk about another one. Again, goldstarteenadventures.org. Please, they've won awards for how much money goes straight to the Gold Star kids. It's Gold Star kids of military and now first responders. They bring all these kids together throughout the year, and they take them on scuba, hunting, rock climbing, all types of trips and certifications, and just let them know that they are not forgotten, they are not alone, and they can spend time with other kids. and they help them get into colleges, everything. Absolutely phenomenal organization. Then the second organization you can go to is Wear Blue to Remember. What they do is every year they get Gold Star kids together. They pair them up with mentors. I am mentoring a kid right now, and we train to run a 5K all the way up through Memorial Day. And then the weekend after that, we go on a big hike. Right now, they're the JBLM area. They got another one in Fort Bragg, and they're trying to get one going much bigger in Fort Campbell. Phenomenal organization. Just, again, the same thing. It was started by a lady who said, hey, I got tired of the only time people remembered my Gold Star kid is when they got a front row seat to some sad Memorial Day event. I wanted to come up with an organization where these kids get to come out, hang out with other Gold Star kids, hang out with some mentors, and go on a run and just have time together other than on Memorial Day where they're sitting front row remembering how sad that day is for them. So another phenomenal organization, wearbluetoremember.org.
Love it. Thanks, Bill. All right. And again, we are a for-profit company at Veteran Trash Talk. All we want to do is build up the nonprofits and understand what they do. Once we do that, it should be pretty simple, but it's going to take a while. All right, it's going to take a couple of years. Like, let's understand where that money goes. But we love you guys. Thanks for watching. Fight show is awesome. The Saturday show is awesome. Cliff show is awesome. And hopefully Len starts doing her show again. But we'll see you again next Friday. Love you guys.